Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to make a Stanley Cup holder. So these have gotten quite popular recently, and I'm going to show you how to make a very simple one, for example for your car, and you can just 3D print it. So first we're going to need is measurements for your Stanley Cup. I personally don't have one, but just take it, measure the circumference, and also measure how far up the bottle you want it to go. Okay, so let's say you want it to go halfway, so just measure halfway. And remember that the cup does get wider, so the holder is mostly just for the more narrow part, right? And it goes about exactly halfway. So let's start. We got a front plane. First, I'm going to do a revolved boss base, and I'm going to sketch my axis. So I'm just gonna do a line. And immediately I'm going to dimension it so that we get into the right dimension. So let's say this is going to be about 20 inches. And again, go off of the measurements that you get. Okay. Now we're going to do a rectangle. I'm gonna make it something like this. Okay, and I want to measure out let's see, I'm gonna measure out about 6. I'm gonna measure out about 8 for my thickness. Okay, so I'm just gonna do 8 and smart dimension it. So this is going to be the diameter of your cup, and add, I would say, about ½ inch to that so that your cup can slide in easily. Okay, so I'm going to assume this is 8, and now I'm going to draw another rectangle. Making sure that it matches my dimensions. And now I'm going to trim my dimensions. Now I'm going to measure up from the bottom. I'm also going to measure out, from the bottom. If I want to know how big this is, now this is like a cheating method, but you basically just draw a line. So, right, so this is 2.14. So what I'm going to do is draw a line here to make it 2.14. There are a couple more professional ways to do this, but that's just how I do it. So we're going to draw a line from the bottom here. Make it 2.14. And we've got our dimension. And I'm also going to draw this. So what is this? So this is going to be our bottom pit, and this is going to be our side holder. So I'm going to trim entities. So the only thing that I need, actually I should not have done that, is this side. Okay? It's kind of like a side border. And don't forget to connect this entity, because otherwise it's not going to fill in. It's going to be an open sketch. Alright? So now I have my axis and I have how I'm going to revolve it. So select the contents that you want to revolve. In this case, it's going to be this specific L shape. Now my axis of revolution is the line that we created beforehand, and we can immediately see what this is going to look like. So we have the bottom, we have the sides, perfect. I'm going to click OK. Alright, so now we got basically a simple cylinder. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pattern some cuts in it. Alright, so I'm going to select my front plane, which goes straight for the middle. So make sure that when you're drawing, you're on that axis, because it's going to make your drawing much easier. And I want to make an extruded cut. and I want to make it something like this. Okay, so this is what I want, and I also so what I'm creating right now is patterning. So I want to have these rectangles basically all over my cup. So I'm just gonna test out the dimensions. So maybe this is good. I'm gonna create a second direction also. Make two this way. And I'm also gonna make the spacing as 5. Only I'm gonna make it down. So to flip the direction, you just click on these two. And let's say how many do I actually want? I want to have maybe 3 this way. And then maybe 4 down. Alright, something like this. Now, when you exit your sketch, you need to make sure that you're cutting on both sides. Okay, so right now it's only cutting this way and it's not been cutting through anything because we don't have a solid surface. So I'm going to do through all, both. So that way this cut is going through both sides. I'm gonna click OK. And look, we've got our sides. Okay, so now you can keep it like this if you'd like. I'm going to make it symmetrical. And the way to do that is I'm going to select my right plane. I'm going to select the mirror feature. So I'm going to click features to mirror. And then I'm going to click on here. That's going to be my cut extrude. I'm going to click OK. And now I have a symmetrical cut. Also, just a quick mistake, sometimes if your cuts are overlapping, SolidWorks is going to make your entire pattern disappear as you. So what you want to do is click on geometry pattern, like I clicked on the video, and that way it eliminates this issue. Okay, just so you know. Alright, so just like this, we got ourselves a holder. And you can do this with any kinds of patterns that you like. You can also smooth the top edges if you want. So let's say I wanted to make a fillet. I'm going to fillet this and fillet this. I'm gonna do this maybe to like 0.5 inches or something like that. To be honest, I don't like how this looks, but if you are into something like this, that's also what you can do. Okay. So now I'm going to render it, but basically this is ready to go. So you're going to export it as an STL file. You're going to click save up on here, save as, and then go into the folder that you want to save it in. And here in type file, obviously save it as the SolidWorks file just so you don't lose it. But if you want to print it, you're going to save it as an STL file right here. So .stl. That's the only file type that 3D printing equipment reads. All right. So now I'm going to render this. I'm going to go into my photo view, and that's located in SolidWorks add-ins. It loads for a second, and then I go into my render tools and go into edit appearance up here. And this is how most of your rendering is going to work. You're just going to edit what this looks like. So let's experiment. I might just go with glossy rubber. And I'm going to do this, which color? Maybe something like this. I personally like it, so let's assume that this is good enough. Now to see what this actually looks like, I'm going to turn on a preview window. You can also do an integrated preview, so it's immediately going to show you what this looks like in your screen. I don't recommend it. It makes SolidWorks really slow, and it's already slow. So, you know. Final render, it's basically the same thing. It's going to show you what the feature is going to look like at the end after you've rendered all of it. I would recommend just use the preview window because it puts a little bit less pressure on your computer than it usually would if you're doing preview immediately, and it doesn't slow down the process as much. So this is what our cup holder looks like, and I think I'm pretty satisfied with that. So I'm just gonna wait for the image to load and save it. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know what else I should cut.